10 and Ladder Company 10 was built in 1979 to help protect the World Trade Center. So every single day when we opened up our front door, the only thing that we saw right in front of our building was the World Trade Center. I was sitting down at our kitchen table, which is in the back of our firehouse, and I was enjoying my breakfast, and we heard a loud bang. A firefighter who happened to be at the front of the firehouse, he ran into the kitchen. He said a plane had just hit the World Trade Center. The sky was pitch black. There was debris raining down onto the street. There were people looking up in a tremendous amount of fear. We grabbed our equipment and we head out the door. I was the driver that day. I stopped my vehicle and I looked at my lieutenant and I said, "These are people in the street." Realizing that the debris that was in the street was not only debris from the building, but it may have actually been people that were blown out from the building or from the airplane. They weren't intact, but it was flesh on the ground. And I can feel them going under the tires of my truck. I knew we had a job to do. I knew that there were people still alive in the building and that it was our job to get them. Just before driving in front of the North Tower, a gentleman ran out of the building and he was completely engulfed in flames. He was in the middle of the street and he stopped and he looked at my truck and I could see his eyes were black. I immediately grabbed another firefighter and we went to aid this gentleman who was in front of my fire truck. The rest of the members from my crew ran into the building and they were killed on September 11th. While I was in the lobby and it was absolute pandemonium, I heard coming over a police officer's radio, "Prepare for impact, a second plane is approaching." And I said, "We're under attack." We knew that our time was limited, so we concentrated on getting the people out. Thousands of people were coming down the steps. Some of them were burned, some of them were bleeding. Every one of them was confused, every one of them was scared. While I was in the North Tower and evacuating people, it began to become less people coming down. Just about the last person that walks past me, walks through the door, wishes me well, says, "God bless you for what you're doing," and the South Tower comes down. The lights flickered, they went off. I felt a tremendous rush of wind. I was lifted off my feet and hurled through the air like I was a piece of paper. I had no control of where I was or what I can do, and I just remember screaming at the top of my lungs and praying to God that if this was going to be it, that He would take me into His arms. The woman that had just walked through the door, that just wished me well and blessed me, she was killed instantly. She didn't make it. I landed on the floor in pitch black darkness, and I cowered over into a corner, and I curled up into a fetal position, but now I was trapped in a pitch black cocoon. I didn't know where I was. I had been tossed through the air, so I didn't know my location. I couldn't breathe because the air was thick with dust and debris. I turned on my air. I put my mask on my face. I was able to get 2 good, solid breaths of air, which made me relax a little bit, which made me calm down. It's okay, you have to find your way out of this. And with that, off to my left, I saw a very large, light gray square. Everything else was pitch black, but this was light gray. I said, "Oh my God, that's a window." And I stepped out. I called back into the darkness and I shined the flashlight into the darkness. I said, "If anybody can hear me, if anybody can see this light, it is a way out." And with that, 5 people who were trapped in the basement came up the stairs, saw my light, and stepped out the window. I was so relieved to be out of the building, but now I thought I was going to be hit with the North Tower. The way that it was starting to fall, it looked like it was timbering like a tree. I started to run north, and I was all alone. Everybody else was running down the street, and I was so tired, and I was so just felt that, this is it. I have to give up. I can't keep running. I'm not going to outrun this. That I laid down in the grass, and I kind of just accepted the fact that this was going to be it. I did what I did. I helped as many people as I could, but this was going to be the end. And within seconds, I was consumed with the tremendous amount of dust that engulfed the entire area. It's absolute silence. There's not a sound. I said, I am the last person left on this planet. I thought that within this dust was the apocalypse, was the end. This was God's way of erasing mankind. Within minutes, the dust lifted and I could begin to see gray figures running. I was so relieved that this wasn't the end. After spending the rest of the day trying to help out as best I could, I needed to go home. I needed to see my family. I started to walk over the Brooklyn Bridge. So I had the clothes on my back, my fire department protective clothing, and I kept my helmet on because it just made me feel safe keeping the helmet on. I almost felt that people maybe looking at me thought I was maybe losing my mind a little bit because I was walking around in firemen's bunker clothes. It was an extremely eerie feeling. And I just remember thinking to myself, this doesn't feel normal. And I felt alone. Midway across the bridge, right at the center of the bridge, there was a construction worker standing there. And he saw me coming, he saw my fireman gear, and he just decided it was time to talk to me. I just wanted to be friendly. And I didn't say, you know what, pal, just get away from me. I just had a tough day, just leave me alone. I welcomed the conversation. It brought me back to reality a little bit. He goes, I know you were down inside there. I says, well, yeah, there were a lot of firefighters. He goes, but I know you were down inside there. And he said, you have a bigger job now. He goes, you survived for a reason. You need to tell your story. You need to keep the memory of the people who were lost on that day. You need to keep that alive. You need to do that. It's important. And he continued to walk with me and felt the need to reassure me that there is a reason why this happened. We don't understand it. We may never understand it, but there is a reason. Nothing happens by chance. We came over the other side of the bridge, and there were police officers standing there. And this gentleman said goodbye to me. He says, God bless you, and I'll talk to you some other time. And he stepped off to a path. And I continued toward the police officers, and they said to me, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm all right. They said, we were watching you come over that bridge, and, we didn't know what you were going to do. You kind of looked despondent. I said, well, if I can get a bottle of water for my friend, I said, I'll tell you what we talked about. And he goes, well, which friend? This is the guy that I was walking with down the bridge. I said, you were alone. I didn't know if I had lost my mind. I didn't know if they didn't see what I was experiencing, but I knew what had happened to me. I knew that I was talking to that gentleman. They said, we purposely watched you because we thought you were going to commit suicide. We thought that you were going to jump off the bridge. They said you were standing at the ledge and you were looking back at the Trade Center and you were there for a while. And we thought that you were going to take your life, but you were alone. And it's almost as if he was waiting for me. He was there to inspire me that life is worth living. He was there to tell me that I needed to survive. There was a reason why I survived. That I have something that I have to do, and it's important. Not to give up hope. Not to walk away. There are so many reasons why I should not be alive. I don't know how many tons of building collapsed around me, but I walked away from it. I walked away without a scratch. You need a miracle? I'm your miracle.